Hi there, I'm Dr. Pete Van Branken. Here today, we're going to talk about when you get your new puppy. What do you do when you get your new puppy? And usually what you do is, you're probably very aware that you're supposed to, in a timely fashion, go see your veterinarian. He or she are going to go ahead and probably start you on a series of vaccines: distemper, hepatitis, parainfluenza, parvo, sometimes lepto, sometimes not lepto. But they will go ahead and get you started. But I know sometimes clients are wondering, why don't I just get one vaccine and it works for the next year, and it's good for a year. And but my doctor has me come back 4 times for the same vaccine. So we're going to talk about that today, okay? So we're going to draw a graph here. And this is week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8, week 9, etc. So what we know is that when your puppy was born, that they nurse off the mother and they get some stuff called colostrum, which is the very first milk. A lot of you may be familiar with that. And what happens when they get the colostrum, that's going to confer temporary immunity, or what they call maternal immunity, the immunity you get from your mother. Okay, so in our case, when I was born, if my mother would have had norovirus, or maybe she'd have had some sort of influenza or some sinus infection or something like that, she'd have had that during gestation. When I was in the womb and I came out and I breastfed, I would get the immunity from my mother for all those diseases. So, and what that does, that allows me to get a little bit older, so that when that maternal immunity wears off, I'm probably strong enough to withstand getting sick. Because getting sick in the first 2 or 3 days of life is a bummer, because a lot of us don't make it through that if you get sick that early. So what we do with puppies, they nurse, and then let's say the mothers have been vaccinated for distemper, so there's distemper, lepto, parvo, hepatitis. Parvo is probably the most important one at this point in time. So what happens is they have their immunity, and it goes way up, okay? And then it starts to tail off, okay? And this is puppy number 1, okay? And then puppy number 2 doesn't get quite as much colostrum and comes down like this and kind of goes down as time goes on. And then puppy number 3 went even higher, and that puppy was a pig, and it drank every time it had a chance, it drank. So what happens here, we have different levels of maternal immunity. Now what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to draw an imaginary line like this through here. So what this tells you, that when we vaccinate this puppy, after it's gone through that line, when the maternal immunity actually interferes with the ability to get permanent immunity with the vaccines. This is very much like insuring your house. If you knew what week it was going to burn down, you just insure it that week. But we can't do that. We have to go ahead and play the odds here. So what we're going to do is at week 5 or 6, we're going to give a vaccine right here, okay? And guess what? This puppy is actually below that maternal immunity line. So this one now will go back up when it gets the vaccine. So now this one has permanent immunity, okay? PI, private investigator. You have permanent immunity. These all just are being kept safe with maternal immunity. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go 3 weeks down the road, and we're going to give another vaccine, okay? Now at 9 weeks, guess what? This puppy's below that line, okay? Now we have 2 puppies, and what we did was we vaccinated this one again and this one again. So now this one really has permanent immunity because it's had the vaccine twice after the maternal immunity worn off. So what's going to happen with the pig, the one that ate all the colostrum? And sometimes we used to refer to this. We'd make a comment about somebody if they were smaller or something like this. This is before they had sensitivity training, shall we say. And they used to refer to it as he must have sucked hind tit. That was a term that was used freely number of years ago. I haven't heard that in forever, and I've used that term before, and everybody's like, what the hell are you talking about? In a setup where you have, let's say 6 or 7 teats, the one at the very end has the least amount of milk in it. So that particular animal would not be as thrifty as the other ones because it was not getting as much milk. So I guess what I'm telling you at this point, this one sucked hind tit, so it needed the vaccine earlier. This one also sucked hind tit, so it needed the vaccine a little earlier. The pig, the one that drank all the colostrum, that puppy's got to get vaccinated probably 12 weeks and 15 weeks to have permanent immunity. So this is why, and this is, I'm trying to make this as simple as possible, but this is why we have to vaccinate dogs 3 and 4 times sometimes when they're puppies. We just don't know when the house is going to burn down. So that's what we're doing. It's not a conspiracy for veterinarians to make a lot of money vaccinating dogs multiple times. It is what's right for those dogs. We just know that maternal immunity turns into permanent immunity when you give the vaccines. Here at 6 weeks, there at 9 weeks, and over here probably at 12 weeks is probably about when that puppy would get permanent immunity. So do it in a timely fashion. Show up between 5 and 7 weeks of age on a puppy, get them vaccinated. And most veterinarians have a system they're comfortable with and work within their system. I'm not going to tell you how it should be. They'll tell you how it would be, and they have experience in their own communities, and they won't lead you astray. I know there's a lot of people that are kind of goofy now about the vaccine stuff, but listen, with veterinarians, every time we've ever been in a tight spot with an infectious disease, we generally have vaccinated our way out of it. We're doing it currently with Lyme disease. We have influenza we're doing that with in certain communities. But distemper was a big deal when I was a kid, when I was a young veterinarian, and it's not such a big deal anymore. Certain parts of the world still a gigantic mess. Mexico, for instance, has a lot of canine distemper down there. So next thing that came down the pike was parvo. So we vaccinated our way out of that. We used to see probably 100 cases a year or 200 cases a year. We're down to seeing 15 or 20 a year. And our practice is bigger now than it was. So when somebody suggests you vaccinate your dog, vaccinate your dog. We're only doing it, we're advocate for your pet, for your new puppy, for your new kitten. The same story goes for kittens. This is, we just talked about puppies today, but same thing goes for kittens. Okay? Good luck.